My name is Alicia Morrow, and I come from Papikasi's Cree Nation. I founded the Comeback Society, which is a local nonprofit focused on amplifying Indigenous voices and culture here within Regina, Saskatchewan on Treaty 4. So the Comeback Society started as a podcast called the Comeback Podcast between my sister and I. We grew up as urban Indigenous kin, not having a place to access and to know about who we are as Indigenous people, our knowledge, our traditions, our ceremonies. And we realized that being Indigenous was super important, that we really needed to reclaim, and we wanted to talk more about that between her and I. And so we decided we were going to do a podcast, and lo and behold, it actually kind of took off and snowballed, and now we've interviewed people from across North America, and we found that there was so many of the same stories of Indigenous people not having access to their culture because of the residential schools, because of their colonization and the intergenerational impacts it's had on our communities. And so my sister and I knew that we wanted to do something, but we didn't know what. We sat down and we said, well, let's start a nonprofit. And then how do we make programs accessible to kids? And so our podcast is really the foundation of the Comeback Society as a nonprofit. And through that, our different programs has kind of stemmed through the conversations that we knew that we needed to create for these youth in our urban settings. The Comeback Society currently has a few different streams. As I mentioned, we started as a podcast. So through that, we started our Making and Meaning programming, which is all of our ribbon skirt making classes, ribbon shirt making classes. We do beading, leather work, and so forth. We also have our other stream, which is our Movement is Medicine, where we teach our powwow dance classes. Then we have our cultural collaborations, where we're currently working with other nonprofits, and we're able to connect them to cultural specialists that can work within their agency, where they can build healthy and meaningful relationships with Indigenous kin and teach those teachings to their youth that they're currently working with. We also have our Supple Sunday program, which is our program that we run every Sunday, where we are able to make 300 meals a week and then deliver them to our downtown core community. In total, over the last 9 months, I think, or 8 months, we've served 11,000 meals out to our community. My sister, her name is Lexi Obi, and her side of the story of why she kind of started the Comeback Society with me was that when she was growing up, she didn't have anybody that looked like her. And so through this journey of her reclaiming, she had turned to social media, and she started to watch other people being Indigenous, and she realized that representation matters. We know this. And so we wanted to create a space that my sister and I would have needed when we were kids. Another big thing about why we started the Comeback Society and our podcast was that we've seen in the media growing up that we've only ever really see the negative impacts, the negative stories, the stereotypes, the racism that we see in the media, and you never get to see Indigenous success stories. And so we just kind of wanted to highlight those and share and amplify those stories. We want people to understand the true beauty of being Indigenous. I want to build a cultural center, a place that you can come in and say, I want to learn my culture, I want to learn my traditions, and I want to learn my ceremonies. I think success looks like to me is seeing my son and my future grandchildren knowing who they are and being proud to be Indigenous. For the last year, we've been working with FBC. FBC has, I think, played a huge role. Cassandra has played a huge role in the Comeback Society, as well as anytime I need any sort of advice, I can go to her and kind of consult with her and talk about what do I need to do as a nonprofit, especially as a starting up nonprofit. So I think it's really, it's more than just a business relationship. It's kind of really evolved into a personal relationship and growing together. Yeah, she's a part of my kin. She's become a part of my family. She's really knowledgeable of what she does, and she's the professional. So I think just being able to connect with her whenever I have a question of some sort really helps the agency as a whole. So a good working relationship, but more coming into a personal relationship. I would highly recommend FBC to others because I think it goes deeper than just a working relationship. The people there are amazing. You're able to connect and build fantastic relationships. I think, yeah, like it comes down to like this isn't my strong suit and this is FBC's strong suit. So I think leaving it to like the professionals and understanding that I'm not going to be great at everything, but you can have people that will help you and see those same goals for you. And so leaving it up to, working with FBC to create my vision and to bring it to life has been really valuable to the agency. Our Indigenous people are amazing at its core, and our culture is beautiful and it needs to be celebrated. And so we're just on a mission to help amplify that, to be shown on social media, to be showing to other kids that we're powerful and when we're deserving to be here.